Hello guys, and welcome back to another Etheria restart video. Since I already made a full guide breaking down Gianc's kit, builds, and gearing, today I just want to showcase him purely in PvP. No build theory this time. This is about real matches and how he actually performs when things get sweaty. Like I mentioned in the full guide, Gianc isn't built to dominate PvE. He's a non-crit HP scaling DPS, which naturally limits his burst ceiling compared to traditional crit-based damage dealers. In PvE, where speed clears and massive damage spikes matter most, he's just not optimal. He won't compete with units that scale off crit and attack multipliers designed for fast clears. That doesn't mean he's bad. It just means that PvE content doesn't fully reward the way his kit is designed. But PvP is a completely different environment. PvP isn't about deleting waves in seconds. It's about pressure, sustain, disruption, drafting properly, and understanding win conditions. And that's exactly where Gianc shines. Because he scales off HP, he's naturally tanky while still putting out consistent damage. You're not sacrificing survivability to deal damage. You're building both at the same time. That alone makes him incredibly valuable in longer, grindier matches. In extended fights, he becomes very difficult to remove. The longer the match goes, the more value he generates. If you draft him in the right setup and protect him properly, he can literally take over a fight by himself. I've had games where the rest of my team drops, and Gianc just slowly outlasts and eliminates what's left of the enemy team. You'll notice in longer games that once the pace slows down, Gianc starts to dominate. He cycles his skills consistently, keeps applying pressure, and forces the opponent into uncomfortable positions. They either have to focus everything on him, which isn't easy because of his bulk, or they ignore him and slowly lose the war of attrition. And keep in mind, my Gianc isn't even fully skilled up yet. He's not at maximum investment. If you truly want to unlock his full PvP potential, especially in RTA, you should at least max his S2 and S3. The cooldown reductions and enhanced effects dramatically increase his uptime and consistency. More skill rotations mean more pressure, more disruption, and more control over the tempo of the fight. Once those are maxed, you'll see a massive boost in his overall performance. The difference honestly feels huge in high-level matches. Now let's talk about matchups. Against bruiser setups, Gianc's biggest selling point is his healing block effect. Bruiser teams rely heavily on sustain. Their entire strategy revolves around surviving, healing back up, and slowly wearing you down over time. But once Gianc applies healing block, that whole strategy starts falling apart. Their sustain disappears, their front line can't recover, and trades suddenly become permanent. Damage sticks, pressure sticks, and once one unit drops, the rest usually follow. That single debuff can completely disrupt bruiser compositions and make them collapse much faster than they expect. What's interesting is that he can also be drafted into cleaver setups if you know what you're doing. Because he's HP scaling and naturally bulky, he's much harder to one-shot than traditional DPS units. If he survives the initial burst, and with the right draft he often will, the momentum immediately shifts. After the enemy cleave blows their cooldowns, they're vulnerable. That's when Gianc thrives. He excels in the slower second phase of the fight, where sustain and consistent damage matter more than explosive openers. So, overall, even though Gianc isn't a PvE superstar, he can be an absolute monster in PvP when used correctly. If you draft smart, understand when to bring him in, build around his strengths, and maximize his S2 and S3, he becomes a serious threat, especially in long RTA fights where consistency wins games. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.